Let me erase all this. So now let us look at the small signal operation. Okay. First thing, if I actually draw the V out versus V in. This is V in. This is V out. Okay. And the MOSFET circuit is this. RD. This is VDD. This is ground. This is plus minus. Okay. VGS. This is VGS. Okay, there are some notations here which needs to be clearly, uh, clearly, mentioned. Okay, I'll mention that. Okay, this is VDD RD. Okay. So if I draw the graph like this, my VTC curve there. Okay. Put this here. Okay, and say this is my input. This is my output. If I give a small signal like this, small signal, this. Okay. You can clearly see it is getting amplified. Okay, and it will be like this. All right. This is my input signal. This is my output signal. Okay. Now we have already looked at this term called linear amplification. Okay, linear amplification. Okay, for linear amplification to actually happen. Okay, see, linear means simple. If my gain is say 10, okay, if I give 1 volt as my input, I should get 10 volts as my output. Simple. I should not get 12 volts or it should not get 9 volts. Okay, so if my input changes by X%, my output should also change by the same X%. That is what linear operation means, right? So for linear operation to occur, there are two criteria. One is the MOSFET should be in saturation. Okay, this is fairly obvious. The saturation should be in, the MOSFET should be in saturation. Second one is the input signal which you give. Okay, input signal which you give should be actually small. That is why we call it a small signal operation. The amplitude of the input signal which you give should be small. Why? Because if draw your output characteristics, VDS, ADS. Okay. If I draw my load line there, okay. So this will actually be VDD by RD. This will actually be VDD. And if you look here, this region, okay, from this region to this region. Okay. If that region is no, it is actually non-linear. It will never be linear. MOSFET is not a linear device. It is a non-linear device. But the thing is, if you give a large signal, the curve is usually like this. But if you take a small interval, okay, that part will be actually linear. So when you give an input signal to that part, like this, obviously the output will be a nice magnified one. But if you give a large signal, what happens is, instead of the small part being linear, it will be non-linear. It will be like this. So if I give a signal like this, the output signal which I get, okay, the positive peak might be more, amplitude will be more, the negative peak will be less, like this. Okay, so that is not exactly a linear amplification. Okay, that is actually a distorted signal. This is actually a distorted signal. Okay, so we are we want to actually avoid this. This is first thing. The second thing is, if I give a large signal, what happens is, this is VDD. The input might exceed this VDD value at the x-axis and this VDD by RD at the y-axis. Right. So when that happens, this, instead of getting a full swing output like this, okay, what I'll get is, I'll get a clipped off version like this. Okay. This part is getting clipped off. Okay. So that also we need to avoid. That is why we give a small input signal to avoid distorted signals and to get a full swing output. Okay. Right. Then any queries still here? Okay. Then in that case, let us look at some notations. If you look at this circuit diagram, this one, okay, when I write VGS, small v and small g and small s, this is actually pertaining to the input signal, input AC signal. Okay, it is pertaining to the input AC signal. When I write this capital V, G, S, okay, this is actually the bias signal, bias DC voltage. Okay, this you already know, right? And when I take the signal here, this signal, okay, this I will write as VGS, capital V, small g and s. So this is actually this VGS plus this VGS, right? So this is your actual instantaneous voltage. Instantaneous gate to source voltage. Okay. So to simply, put things in picture, if this is VGS, this line, it's a DC line. This is VGS. Then VGS, small VGS is actually this. This is actually small VGS. So it is riding on top of the DC bias voltage, and this entire thing is this. Okay. So another way of writing this is, or you can write it like this also: small v, capital G, and capital S. So it depends upon which textbook you follow. In some textbooks they follow this notation: capital V, small g, s. In some textbooks they write small v, capital G, and capital S. Okay. So again, I usually follow these three notations as well. Right. So this thing you have to be very clear, okay, because further down the line there'll be a lot of confusion regarding this. Okay. Any queries still here? All right. Any queries? Let me know. Okay. Right. We have, see here we have taken a simple common source, a common source amplifier. Okay. I've not used any degenerative RS or anything. A simple amplifier I've taken. Now I intend to find its voltage gain, okay, and a new parameter called GM, okay, the transconductance of the MOSFET. Okay. But before that, let us look at the drain current equation. Okay. Drain current. Okay. Drain current. So here ID is, and also another point I want to mention. Okay, this holds true for currents too. Okay, it is not only pertaining to voltages. It also, you can apply this for currents too. When I write ID, this is the biased drain current. When I write it like this, or when I write it like this first, this is actually the instantaneous, not the instantaneous. This is actually the drain current associated with the uh, voltage source VGS, small VGS. Okay, this capital I and small d is actually sum of these two. Okay, Right. And now to write the drain current, ID equals to half half mu n COX W by L into VGS minus VGH. Okay. So here this drain current is DC bias drain current, and VGS here is uh, gate source voltage. Bias gate to DC bias gate to source voltage. And also we have established that capital VGS is equal to capital VGS is small v. Okay. So this one is due to input signal. This is DC bias. This is instantaneous voltage, gate to source voltage. Okay. Now let me derive. Okay, derive instantaneous drain current. Okay, instantaneous drain current I small d. Okay, so I will write it I small d is equal to half mu n COX W by L VGS small g and small s capital V minus VT. Right. Now in this, make some changes. I small d equals to half COX W by. Now VGS small capital V small g small s equals to capital VGS plus this. So that I'm going to use it. So VGS plus VGS minus VT. Okay. Now in this, I'm going to club this term and this term, and A plus B whole square. So ID equals to half mu1 COX W by L into VGS minus VT whole square plus VGS square plus 2 into VGS minus VT into VGS. Okay. Now I'll separate out the terms, split it into three terms. So ID equals to half. This I will write it as Kn prime. Okay, so half Kn prime W by L into VGS minus VT whole square plus half Kn prime W by L VGS square. Before that, I will try VGS square and this. VGS minus VT into VGS plus half kn prime w by l VGS square. Right. Now among these three terms, this term is actually the DC by bias drain current. Okay. Look, there in that first term you have capital VGS minus VT. Okay, that is same as capital ID. Okay, this is nothing but capital ID. Right. Second term, you see here the ID is actually proportional to VGS. Okay, VGS. The third term you see ID is actually proportional to VGS square. Okay, so this term actually has this current equation actually has you can write it like this: ID is equals to, see, this capital ID, the first term is actually a constant, right? So I'll write constant, say constant 1 plus the second term kn prime w by l VGS minus VT. That is also a constant, right? So I can write it as a constant 2 into VGS plus the third term. Again, a half kn prime into w by l is a constant. So I'll write it as constant, so 3 into VGS square. Okay. Now, if you observe this equation, is it a linear equation or a non-linear equation? This equation, is it linear?
Non-linear, sir.
Obviously. Why is it non-linear?
VGS.
You have this constant 3 into VGS square term. So this is actually a non-linear term, non-linear equation. Okay. Now, if I want to make my make this more linear, what should happen? If I want to make this ID more linear, what should happen? What should I do? Yeah.
Divide by VGS.
No, I want to make it more linear. Divide by VGS. If I divide by VGS, what will happen?
And this will become constant.
Which one will become constant?
Constant 3 into VGS will become linear.
But here you'll get divided by VGS, no? Here you get divided by VGS, here divide by small VGS, here you divide by small VGS. And here also divided by small VGS. What should happen to the third term if I want to keep this linear? Should the third term be there or it should not be there?
It should not be there, sir.
It should not be there. See, if the third term is missing, then in your entire current equation, only VGS, this will be there. Only this will be there. If you make this somehow 0, okay, only this will be there. Then in that, without doubt, you can say that this is a linear equation. It becomes, if this term is not there, it entirely becomes linear. Then no problem. But it is not like that, right? So this third term is always there, right? So what we do is we lay out some conditions. Okay, that condition is that this second term, okay, this second term, let me call it 1, this I'll call it 2. The condition is the first one should be actually very much greater than 2. That is the condition, right? So if I write it, kn prime w by l VGS minus VT into small VGS should be much greater than half kn prime w by l VGS square. Okay, so if you solve this, to write it much simpler. Okay, So you should get VGS should be less than 2 into VGS minus VT. Okay. So this is an important condition for linear operation. Okay, this is as good as saying that whatever this value you give, okay, should be very small. If it is very small, then you have a proper linear amplification which happens. Okay, clear till here? Any queries till here? Okay, then we'll move on to transconductance, MOSFET transconductance. Right. So again, let me write this instantaneous current again. So ID is equal to bias plus current due to the AC source. Right. Now this is actually this term. This is actually okay. To exit the meet and join back again. Okay. I think the time limit's almost up. Okay, 10 minutes. I don't want to start this and end it abruptly. Okay. Join back again. Okay. Let us start. Right. So this is the current equation which instantaneous current equation which I got previously. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is I have to get a parameter called transconductance. Okay, MOSFET transconductance. Why I need this transconductance is because see, if you look at a MOSFET, okay, you could say that the input is there's no input current obviously because gate is completely isolated. Right. The voltage which you give for the current to flow in the MOSFET is VGS, right? And the output current which you get, which is the current which is flowing between the source and drain, okay, that is the drain current, right? So MOSFET transconductance establishes a relation between the drain current and the VGS, right? So it is imperative that you know try and understand why we need transconductance and its uses in the small signal model. Okay, we need a GM no, for drawing the small signal model. Okay, right. Let us come back. ID is equal to these three terms you got, and somehow if I've reduced, if I've made a very nice linear amplifier out of it. So I will not get the last term. I will get these two terms, right? So from this, I can write ID as this term would be capital ID, and this term would be small ID, right? So essentially here we are saying small ID is Kn prime W by L VGS minus VT into VGS, right? So from this MOSFET transconductance. MOSFET transconductance GM. Okay, so GM here is actually ID by VGS. This is actually Kn prime W by L into VGS minus VT. Okay, this is important. Right. So this is the mathematical way of actually determining GM. Okay. how would you actually determine it using graphical approach? Okay, this is actually a math model. Mathematical approach. Okay, how would be my graphical approach? Anyone? Graphical approach. How would I, determine this graphically? Anyone? No? Right.
Find the tangent
Tangent where?
at the Q points.
Which where will you for which graph will you use draw the tangent?
Voltage transfer characteristic.
No. See here. Look at this. It is actually ID by VGS, right? In which graph will you have ID and VGS? Which graph will you have ID and VGS?
Output versus input.
No. Transfer characteristics, not transfer characteristics. Sorry, in transfer characteristics. You have output characteristics and transfer characteristics, right?
Yes, sir.
Output characteristics is ID versus VGS. Transfer characteristics is ID versus VGS. All right. Here, once it reaches VT, okay, your current will start increasing. Right. So at this one point here, if you take, and if you actually draw a tangent to that, same, that concept is same. If you draw a tangent, same thing. Okay, if you draw a tangent, and the slope of this will actually give G. Okay. So this is a graphical approach to do this. Right. Clear? Is this clear? Okay. Right. Then we'll let us look at voltage gain, and some certain conditions are there for you to try and understand. With that, we'll wrap the class. Okay. So next is voltage gain. Voltage. All right. So if I draw the diagram again, this VGS, then the biasing voltage, VGS, then this is the MOSFET, this is RD, this is VDD. All right. So for this, if I apply KVL like this, okay, KVL. What I get is, I get before that, this voltage is actually VD, not capital D, small d. Okay, so if I apply KVL in the direction, I get VD is equal to VDD minus instantaneous drain current into RD. Remember here, VDS is same as VD because source is ground. All right. So VD, some terms I want to add here. Okay, ID, I will write it as bias drain plus instant drain current due to the source input signal into RD. So I will write this as VDD minus ID into RD minus ID R. Right. Now this term is actually VD. Okay, this is the bias drain voltage. Okay, it is actually VDS. Same thing, both are same thing, right? But say for example, in this equation, if I consider only the ACs, the voltages and currents mainly due to the input signal, right? Then I can write this capital VD will actually become small vd, and this VD, capital VD, will actually become 0, and you have ID into RS. Okay, so rewriting that equation, I get small vd equals to minus ID R. Here, considering only currents and voltages due to input signal. Okay, due to input signal, the signal which needs to be amplified, right? Only that signal I am considering. Right, and we know that ID is ID by VGS is GM. Okay, so substituting that there, so VD is equal to minus GM into VGS into R. Okay, rewriting this equation, we get gain. Voltage gain is equal to VD by VGS is equal to minus GM into. Yeah, so this is actually voltage gain. And the minus indicates that this is an inverting amplifier. Voltage V. Okay, this is actually a voltage V. All right. To sum this up, okay, there are some observations. Some observations I want to write just to some takeaways from all this. First one, for linear amplification, to ensure linear amplification, okay, you have to ensure that the signal which you are giving, V small VGS, should be very much less than 2 times capital VGS minus VT. Okay. Second, this we derived this in the beginning itself. And MOSFET has to be in saturation. This is obvious actually. MOSFET in saturation. And it should be like this: small VD, capital V in small d, which is the instantaneous drain current, should be actually greater than or equal to VG minus VT. Okay. So here VD and VG are instantaneous voltages, having both bias and input signal as their sources. Okay, so they have both VD and uh, both bias and input signal. All right. Now the third one is, it's actually better explained by a graph. Okay. Let me draw a graph quickly, then we'll wind up. First one. So this is VGS in time. The second one is this is with respect to time. Okay, VD. We have so this is actually VGS, the bias voltage. Okay, so if I consider this to be no, say V by 2 and V by 2. This is actually V by 2. This is actually V by 2. This which you see, okay, that is capital V, small g, and a small s. This is actually small VGS, right? So this condition, if I want to write it, okay, so V by 2 should be actually less than 2 times VGS minus VT. Okay, so this is the condition here, right, for linear amplification. Now at the output side, uh, this voltage and this voltage, this is actually minus GM RD, not minus, that is not minus. Minus is to simply indicate that it is non-linear. No, it's no, inverting amplifier, which is already showcased here. It is 180 degrees out of this. So this is actually GM RD into V by 2. This is actually GM RD into V by 2. Remember the gain which we saw earlier, it is actually minus GM into RD, right? This is actually capital V, capital DS, right? This voltage and this voltage. Okay. Now this has to be no this value. Okay. I will call it as say VD max. Okay. That should always be less than equal to VDD. Always. Okay. And this I will call it as capital VD min. And it should always be greater than VG max minus VT. Okay, these are the two important conditions you need to understand. One is, like, if I look at this peak value, okay, VDS max, VD max, it should be less than VDD, right? If it exceeds VDD, what happens? The top part will get clipped off. Remember the load line equation in the output characteristics, in the drain characteristics. If VD max is greater than VDD, the positive part will actually get clipped off. Okay, that is actually unfaithful amplification. So we don't want that to happen, right? So this is the condition for VD max. Second one is this VD min. Okay, that should be greater than or equal to VG maximum value minus VT. VG max here is what are the maximum instantaneous gate to source voltage you can get. Okay, so VD minimum should be greater than or equal to VG max minus VT. This is to ensure MOSFET is in saturation. Okay, is in saturation. This is to ensure linear amplification, linear, or you can say faithful. Okay, understood these two conditions, right? The first one is VGS. VGS should be less than twice the overdrive voltage. So that is what we saw in the first cycle, first diagram. The second one, we have seen two conditions. One is VD max, which should be less than or equal to VDD, and VD min should be greater than or equal to VG max minus VT. Okay. One is to ensure faithful amplification. Faithful means full swing output. Okay, full scale you should get. The second one is to ensure that MOSFET stays in saturation region. Now, if no, if this second condition doesn't satisfy, okay, MOSFET might swing into linear or cutoff region, which in that case this MOSFET will start behaving as a switch. It will not be as a amplifier. So that you should not. That you should ensure. Okay, that the MOSFET stays in saturation rate. Okay, with this will stop. Any queries you have? Okay. All right. Then in that case, enter your name and USN number in the chat. I'll take that as an attendance.